Learning and Study, Episode 8, The Most Effective Way to Study, Spaced Out Practice and Interleaving. The information in this episode comes from Make It Stick, The Science of Successful Learning by professional writer Peter C. Brown and educational psychologist Henry L. Roediger III and Mark A. McDaniel. The most productive study technique resulting in long-term knowledge is spaced out, interleaved retrieval practice. Now, there are three parts to this, so we're going to break it down into these three parts and talk about each. So let's begin with what we mean by spaced out. Spaced out practice is unlike cramming, which is usually just one long practice session. Spaced out practice means we have multiple practice sessions spread out over time. Remember, consolidating memories into long-term stores for rapid retrieval takes several days. Although varsity athletics are often at odds with academics, many coaches have independently discovered, and in many cases preceded, the same findings made by educational psychologists. Coaches make their athletes practice most every day. Coaches know that spaced out practice keeps their athletes' skills fresh, strengthens memory so when game day comes, those skills and memories are automatic. If teams practice like most students study, just cramming the night before the big game, the outcome would be pretty dismal. So, spaced out practice is essential for memory consolidation. What is interleaving practice? Interleaving is alternating two or more subjects during practice. Let's say you are learning a procedure. The typical procedure training goes something like this. Start with step 1. Train and practice step 1 until you've mastered it. Move on to step 2. Train and practice step 2 until you master it. Move on to step 3 and keep going. Interleaved procedure training goes like this. Start with step 1, just train and practice a few times. Then jump to step 4. Train and practice just a few times on step 4. Jump back to step 3. Train and practice a few times with step 3. Jump ahead to step 7. Train and practice a few times with step 7. Looks weird, doesn't it? Everything is mixed up, and more importantly, the practice moves on before the mastery is accomplished. Long ago, coaches discovered the benefits of interleaving practice. Let's say you want to learn to play hockey. Now, there are three important skills required for hockey: skating, puck handling, and shooting. A single practice session would include practicing a little of each skill. Coaches know that by interleaving, the athlete will improve more in all aspects than spending each session on only one skill. Here's another coaching example. Let's say we want to improve hitting in baseball. So, we're going to do a little scientific experiment. So we need two groups. We have a control group, which will have the typical procedure, and we're going to have an experimental group, which will be interleaved. Now, what we're going to do for both groups, we're going to go and have batting practice every day, and we're going to pitch to them 30 pitches. So, in the typical procedure training, they're going to get 30 pitches, 10 of each type of pitch. So they'll get 10 fastballs, followed by 10 curveballs, followed by 10 changeups. And we're going to do this every day for 6 weeks. Now, for our experimental group, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to try interleaved procedure training. The batters are going to get the same 30 pitches every day, but the pitches are going to be mixed up. The batters have no idea which pitch is coming. They may get a curve followed by a fastball followed by another curve. So they're going to get the same number of pitches and the same number of styles, but they're going to be mixed up in order. So, after 6 weeks, which group improved the most? The interleaved group. So what about something more academic? Let's say you are taking an art appreciation course and are learning to recognize painters' works. A typical procedure would be to study the works of one painter, practice until mastery, then move on. However, a better way would be to make it interleaved. Mix up the painters and practice a few times during each session. In fact, this has been tested. The interleaving group did better at recognizing a painter by a piece neither group had seen before. In interleaving, you don't move from a complete practice set of one topic to go to another. You switch before each practice is complete. Interleaving helps students get a bigger picture and a greater understanding on how things are related to each other. Interleaving also resembles real life. Situations and problems come at us at random and in varied order. This is natural. So, what have we learned thus far? Since consolidating memories into long-term storage takes several days, multiple practice sessions spaced out over time is required. Mixing up the order of practice and moving on before mastery results in better learning.